Baba is talking about being at rest in the face of chaos and noise and tamoguni vibration outside. And you see that sometimes you are not just affected by behaviors and situations, but just atmospheres. Yes, so let's say you visit the market and there is so much noise and chaos all around, and then you feel drained because a lot of your strength, your inner energy is being used up in dealing with that atmosphere outside. Now, just like Baba says that in the face of behaviors and situations, we don't lose a lot of our energy because we are fighting against it, but we stay in our stability and deal with it with the minimum energy that we want to spend. Yes, so that is the goal, because when you react, then you are using a lot more spiritual energy than required. So similarly, Baba talks about atmospheres also. I remember there was this one brother, he's a young brother and he's into sports, so he plays professionally, so he has to always keep traveling and set up camps and live there, and then or be in a host house or something, and then be there and then play his game. So he was just telling me that sister, it's not just the game, but this whole situation where I have to live in several places, which drains me a lot. Because he was telling me that whenever I am in a different atmosphere, I tend to be vigilant about it. And my guards are up, and then whether it's night or day, I don't really know what's in what's in and around. So my guards are up and I have to be very attentive and focused, and I pay attention to everything that's happening, because I don't have any idea about where I am. And this uses a lot of my energy. And I feel sometimes very drained. I want to come back to the security of home. And he was telling me I started out young, so I always miss that security of home. So I told him what Baba is telling today, that when we go somewhere, if our inner powers are not very developed, then what happens is the outer atmosphere starts having an influence. And because the outer atmosphere is discharged or negative or noisy or something, so it kind of drains you, because that force is higher than your inner power, and so it starts draining you by that negative energy influencing you. So Baba tells us that you must always be at your best. And Baba uses this, the two words, that when you are in your best, you will always be at rest. So Baba says that when you are in your best stage, and that stage is not developed in the face of a circumstance. So you cannot build that stage when you are in that situation. And do you understand that we are all, the clock is ticking and we are going closer and closer to that time when the atmosphere is going to be very, very tamoguni, and that atmosphere is, the walls of the house or whatever security systems you've put up, that's not going to make you feel safe and at rest. And the atmosphere is going to increase its, what would you say, increase its impact, and it's going to get very powerful in a negative way. So Baba says that you need to develop your inner resilience. But how? By invoking your inner power. So the more we are, I am a peaceful soul, I am a loveful soul, I am a happy soul, I am a pure soul. But is that peace, that love, that purity, that joy in the form of just a breeze of virtue, or is it in the form of, the power of a fire? So am I in that state where I can say that I have the virtue of peace or I have the power of peace? Because first when we come to Baba, we have lack of peace. And then when we come to Baba and we start following Shrimat and we start remembering the ocean of peace, you have the virtue of peace, and virtues are like flowers. They need appropriate atmosphere. So it's like a virtue of peace which grows in, when you are meditating, when you are with Brahmins. But then it has to slowly, gradually shift into a state which we call the power of peace, where that peace inside you has that intensity to shift whatever is outside. So you have to have that intensity of peace, that power of peace. And Baba says that, our preparedness and readiness has to be in accordance with our Trikaldarshi stage. So now that we know all the three aspects of time, we know the past, present and future, and through Baba's murlis and through Baba's knowledge, we are very well aware of what's going to happen in the future. So Baba says, are you preparing yourself, keeping that in vision? So are you preparing yourself, keeping in vision how much of power of peace you would require, and do you have that much peace? Yes, and Baba says that when you have that kind of power of peace within you, then you can just emerge your elevated stage that I am a soul and tap into your power of peace, and that power of peace will help you to be peaceful and at rest in every situation. So the atmosphere outside will not affect you. So have you seen that when you go to a new place, you don't sleep well, or when you are in a noisy and chaotic atmosphere? Most Brahmins say that, we like silence and we don't like to be in noisy places. So that's true, you don't choose to be in noisy places, but what if you are in a noisy place? Does that affect you? And I remember, there was this one invitation I had received for an event, and they requested that you come from the beginning itself, and it was a 4-hour event. And then we had some, we were also given some time to share Baba's knowledge there. So I went after 2 hours at least, but still I had to sit there for 2 hours, and they were having this music and dance program, and the music was like, I don't know how many decibels. It was very loud. It was so loud that everybody who had gone with me, they said our heads have started aching. And we don't know how people are tolerating this kind of music. And it was all very loud and noisy. And then I had to, at the end of those 2 hours, I had to deliver Baba's knowledge also. So when I was sitting through those 2 hours, I just went inside and I sat in my peaceful state, so that when I speak, that peace of the heart is able to be conveyed to the other souls. Because if I lose my peace in all this drowning noise, then when I speak, they will also get that same vibration. So I have to maintain that vibration so that I can make them feel the peace that's within me. And for all those 2 hours, I just kept myself anchored within, and I just invoked my elevated self and stayed peaceful. And the whole 2 hours had no effect on me. And then when we were coming back, I felt that because, it looked like an unfavorable situation, but it gave me an opportunity to be very attentive and very in yoga for 2 good hours. So I was actually very recharged when I came back, and I could work on some things, and I did not need to sleep instantly or something. So Baba says that, this is, so don't have, if you are in your double light stage, if you are if you're operating inside out, if you are developing your inner powers very well, in times of peace, then in times of chaos, you will be able to tap into that power, into your best self, and be at rest and not let the tamoguni atmosphere or vibration affect you. But for this, you have to be Trikaldarshi, because you have to keep in your awareness, your vision, the time that is coming, and prepare yourself for it in advance. And I will share something important in this regard, that, when so you see that when we are in the face of these atmospheres, so it's the meditations, it's the accumulations that we have done in earlier times that will come to our rescue. And I remember there was this one situation where one brother was sharing that they had gone for seva, and it was a whole group of Kumars, and the place where they had to do seva was very close to the place where all these butchers were selling their stuff. And it was all, reeking with that smell, it was a stench, not even a smell, and it was very strong. And then they said that we felt like, why did Baba send us here? And we can't even focus on, and it feels so nasty, and we are not able to focus on our seva also. And that was one brother who was saying it. And then he told the others that, I'm feeling like this. Then there was a senior brother in that group, and he told him that just like you can see and not see, you can hear and not hear, can you smell and not smell? So is that not possible? So he said, I don't know, I had never thought about it, but uh, Baba says that you receive help in seva. So, I just found that idea very amusing, that I have to smell and not smell. And I just kept that as my swaman, that I am beyond my senses and nothing is affecting me. And we could do the seva, and by the end of the seva, I had no thoughts about what was the atmosphere. So you see, Baba says that in the end, there will be this dance of death, where everybody will be leaving their bodies, and what kind of an atmosphere would that be? Do you ever think about it? And you see that during COVID, there were people who were hospitalized and they were staying in the same room with corpses. So somebody died and there was no room to keep the corpses, and and I heard an account by a brother. He told me that I was admitted and I had no contact with anybody whatsoever at that time, and there were just two corpses in my room, in my hospital room, and I spent the night with them. And he said that I prayed I should die of COVID because I couldn't deal with this thing. I felt that death was better than this. And I was feeling so uncomfortable, so scared, and it has left a deep scar on me. So, do you understand that these conditions are going to, be universal very soon? Now, it was just the hospital at that time, but there will be a time of destruction when this will be everywhere. And then Baba says that, do you think about this stuff, about how Vinash is going to be, and how I have to pull up my inner powers and inner stage in such a way that I'm not affected by anything that's happening outside, and I'm able to be at rest and do my seva, because in that very moment, Baba wants us to be an angel and do the seva that is to be done in the end, of giving everybody the vision of an angel, the experience of an angelic company. So, do we keep the vision of the future and then, do practice what we are practicing, or we think that, this much practice is good enough to take me through the day? So, sometimes we think this is my average day and these are the things I go through in a day. So, let me just have enough practice so that I can go through the day fine. But that is not the practice you need to have. You have to think about the future, see the future, and practice accordingly. That kind of power, that intensity has to be invoked. And then Baba today talks about you not being affected by nature. And you see, everything is nature. Apart from the soul and Baba, everything is nature. So Baba says you shouldn't be influenced or affected by the presence or absence of any facility. Because if you are influenced by the presence of a facility, you will be influenced by the absence of it. And I will tell you one very simple experience that one sister was sharing with me. She said that I conduct my school classes on Zoom, and so somebody else set up the Zoom for her. And then in that setup, what they did is they clicked full screen. and when it is full screen you cannot see the display bar. So the indicator bar that you can see down there, so you cannot see the time, so the time comes in the display bar. And she said that I had no watch, no clock in that room, and then the class started and the principal was sitting, and I did not have any idea how long I have to speak because I had been allotted 10 minutes and I had no watch to see whether it's 10 minutes or 8 minutes or 6 minutes. And then she said that if I got so nervous that I don't have a watch or I can't see the time, that I really fretted, and I felt like I shouldn't, I don't know the time, so maybe I'll just cut it very short or take it very long, and that thought scared me. And then she said, in that moment, I was reminded of a class in which you were sharing about Janki Dadiji, that Janki Dadiji said that when they started Seva, there was no mat, there was no clock. So, dari and ghadi. So, Dadi used to say, na dari thi, na ghadi thi. And Dadi said that we were not affected by the presence or absence of a dari or ghadi, because that's also a sadhan, that's also a resource. So she said that, in that class you were mentioning that even a ghadi is a resource, we never thought about it, but that made you think. So here I was reminded of that, and I thought, okay, so the absence of a clock affects me so much, and can't I just keep track of time mentally? So, and what if I just finish 1 minute earlier or 1 minute later? What hell will break loose? So I just conducted the class very confidently, and I finished my speech in time. And then, later on, when I saw the recorded version, it was exactly 10 minutes. So it was a very beautiful experience that the sister was sharing, that I felt like, I conquered time or something. And this is an example of how much dependence we have on resources. And sometimes we are very blissfully unaware of our dependence also. That, we are dependent on such little things. And you see that some things we take so much for granted that we never realize that that's also dependency. And if there's no clock, you get so, nervous, and you think about, I'll not be able to keep track of time or this or that. So Baba says, use your power of sadhana. Sadhana means the tapasya that you have done, the inner state you have built, the inner state that you have built, because of which you can always seek Baba's help. And do you believe that when you and Baba are together, then everything is possible? You can do everything. You don't have to. So you see, Baba doesn't even need a body. So Baba in his Sakar stage, he did seva through Brahma Baba's body, but now as an angel, Baba doesn't need a body. And you see, the seva has multiplied so much. So you don't even need this physical costume of the body to do what you want to do. So, the soul power, the power of thoughts, the power of vibrations, the power of intention, the power of karma, these are very great powers. And Baba says that just tap into these powers, and these powers will attract the resources that you really need. So let's say, there's a resource that is really required. For example, Shiv Baba needed a physical instrument in the beginning of the yajna. And what created that physical instrument? Baba didn't go auditioning for it. Yes, Baba didn't have to go auditioning for it, looking for it, finding it. So, Baba could just figure out that, this is the instrument and this is who does it every cycle, and Baba comes very comfortably and Brahma Baba cooperates 100%. So, how do you arrive at this coordination, this cooperation? This happens through your own inner stage invoking facilities outside. And it is not, even if you call Brahma Baba's body a facility. So that facility is not something that was searched for, it was attracted by Shiv Baba. And Baba says, you also don't depend on the facilities. You just maintain your inner power, your power of sadhana. And through that, you will attract whatever facility is important at that time. And Baba says that this is why, but there are facilities which we are using. So you have to be very careful that you are not attracted to them, you are not attached to them. Because I told you that, we take it for granted and we don't even recognize that I am attached and attracted to this facility. Now, how do you do that? So, there was a group of Brahmins and I was conducting a class for them, and there was this one brother who asked a very interesting question. He said, I have a big house, I have a car, I have a comfortable bed, I have everything, and I know that I am attached to it. But how do I not get attached to it? I mean, how do I build that stage? Should I start sleeping on the floor? Or should I start living outside the house? Or should I stop using the car even if it's there? Or how do I do it? So I told him that, the drama gives you occasions when your car is not working. The drama gives you occasions when you don't have the comfort of your house. You have to step out and do something. Or you are on a project and you're going and there is heat, there is rain that you have to face. And the drama also gives you opportunities where you don't have the comfort of a comfortable bed. And in those times, take that opportunity to test yourself and be very grateful to drama that it's helping you build resilience. At those times, don't fret, don't start looking for substitutes, don't start, wasting your time, thought and energy finding the facilities, but just, understand the drama that it is training you for what Baba is saying, and understand the significance and the ishara, the indication of the drama, that now you learn resilience and be very happy in every situation. And when you do that, then when you have used every opportunity that drama has presented you, then in your final paper, drama will come to your rescue. Drama will cooperate with you. So this is the way you, so let's say, you are, there is an AC that's working all the time, and you don't have to, there is no need to switch it off, or there's nothing. But there are times when you step out. At that time, don't start fanning yourself. Yes, don't start complaining about the heat. Don't start thinking that, I miss my AC. So be very happy, enjoy that. And That's how you build resilience. When times are unfavorable, you develop the power. Don't curse that unfavorable time, that it is forcing you to do this and forcing you to do that. And in my experience, the drama is very well designed to, Baba is giving us the knowledge and the power, and drama is giving us the test papers. And both are, the teacher and the examiner are both cooperating with us to prepare us for our final exam. And if you just took, if you just respected the teacher and the examiner both, so you don't have an antagonistic relationship with the examiner, because you understand that that's also preparing you, and you don't have a don't care attitude towards the teacher, because the teacher knows the teacher and the examiner are same also. So they are in collaboration with each other. So that's why the teacher is teaching you for that which the examiner will test you. So pay very good attention to the teachings, and have a very good attitude towards the examinations that come, the papers that come. And when you do that, then you will be very ready for the final paper. So this is something that Baba tells us. And then Baba today tells us to honestly check our defects. Yes, and how do you check your defects honestly? So when you check your defects, you have to take a detached position. So, just like, you have to be not one with your defects. And you can only do that when you're soul conscious and sitting with Baba. Yes, so when you give the chart, when you sit to evaluate yourself, you have to first switch into your soul conscious stage, your self aware stage, your knowledgeful stage. And I remember, there was this one Mata, and it was very apparent in her behavior that she had a lot of comparison and criticism and everything going on around in her mind all the time. And when she used to submit the chart, and there was a column where you write, did you give sorrow, did you take sorrow, she would always say no. No giving sorrow, no taking sorrow. And then, one day I asked her that, you really feel you never give sorrow and take sorrow? Then she said, no, I don't take sorrow. Somebody gives it to me, and then I don't give sorrow. They are asking for it. So what can I do? So when somebody is doing something wrong and purposeful, then you have to, give them an indication that this is not okay, and I'm not giving sorrow, I'm just doing my work. So I said, you don't submit your chart like this. So when you sit in the night, you take a position where you are knowledgeful, and you are in your state where you are knowledgeful and you understand, you can see Pap and Punya as it is. You don't become a lawyer for yourself and start defending, I did this because of this and because of that. Because you see, we have become sinners, and to this degree. Why? Because we kept blaming others for our actions. So you have to take a position where you take responsibility for your action and not blaming others or situations for your actions. And only then you can see the intensity and the quality of your action. Because otherwise, through the filter of blame, you cannot even see your own actions. And I am very sure that if a 24-hour videotape of our own actions was shown to us, we would be, we would be very surprised to see it. Because we are mostly in denial. So this is why Baba says that, and the only realization that helps is self-realization. Even if, I were to tell you what are your defects, or somebody was to tell me what is my defect, it won't help if I'm, justifying it in my head. So it will only help when I realize it. So I have to take that position, that knowledgeful position, that position which enables me to be blame free and see everything the way it is, see my actions the way they are. Okay, Om Shanti.